Hello, I'm Lauren, that awkward plant girl. Welcome back to my channel. It's so good to see you guys. Thank you guys for popping in. Today we are going to be building a Hoya propagation tank. I started this project months ago. I had some extra spare foam when I was making my lamp terrarium, so I started doing this project, and it's just kind of been a little bit here and a little bit there over time. Today I am finally ready to go ahead and put plants in it, so we're going to be taking care of that today after I take you through the entire process of getting there. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Here is my thrifted terrarium tank I'm going to be using. I believe it's a 20-gallon. It looks double the size of the 10 gallons I normally use. And because I'm building another terrarium on my table, we're going to be using our little sofa here, and we're going to make this work. I just covered everything in plastic, and then I'm just going to be cleaning out this tank. I'm using rubbing alcohol because I know it'll kill most mold and fungi. Next step after cleaning is laying out all the sticks and figuring out the layout for the background. I have all these sticks already pre-processed. I've baked them, cleaned them, there's nothing growing in them. So I laid them out how I thought I wanted them to be, and I'm just going to take them out so I can put silicone down for the base, and we'll start building up this background. Pro tip, cover your silicone nozzle with a Ziploc bag to prevent it from drying out and getting all gross, and that way you can go ahead and use it as needed. I'm putting this aquarium silicone on the backdrop directly on the glass, so that way when I go ahead and foam up my background, it's going to stick to the glass better, and that way it won't have water going back there. It won't be growing any mold or fungi or any nastiness. I also won't have to worry about all the foam falling off. And then for better adhesion, I just take a Ziploc bag or rubber gloves, whatever you have that works for you, and just smear it on the back, and that way there's going to be, your foam is going to stick a lot better for you that way. And then the magic of foaming. This foam does not foam up as much as the white does, so that's an interesting thing to note. You have to fill in more cracks and crevices, and then after you have your foam all down, you just go ahead and place the sticks wherever you want. You can put anything you want in your backdrop. I'm just using sticks. I have designed this specific terrarium to be for highlight plants. I've also designed this specific terrarium to be made out of bark and sphagnum moss. It's meant to prevent root rot. A lot of other terrariums will hold on to too much humidity and too much moisture. This is meant to be a higher humidity but low moisture kind of situation. I know the two sounds very confusing, but basically I don't want it to be a bog where the plants sit in a bunch of water. I don't want to be able to accidentally overfill it. And I want to make sure that there's not a whole lot of sogginess. So I didn't end up using a whole lot of soil for this particular one. Mainly when I am putting Hoyas in terrariums or propagating Hoyas, I am going to be using perlite, or I will use bark and sphagnum moss. And I have compiled all of these aspects from years and years of testing with Hoya and to one specific tank made for Hoyas. So I know a lot of you guys are Hoya fans on my channel. I don't collect rare Hoyas, but I like to do a lot of fun different things with Hoyas. So this is just another aspect of that. One thing I wanted to note is if the foam starts to dry too quickly or the moss is too moist, it'll create a film over your foam, and then it won't work as well. So if you can't get the moss to stick, you can also use the aquarium silicone underneath, and that'll help make the moss stick to the foam a little bit better if there's any extra crevices or cracks. And that actually works really well. I've done it in multiple terrariums, and it works on this black foam as well as the white foam. And here we go. The backdrop is all finished. This is just the back part. It cured for 24 hours and now it's ready to sit up, and we'll go ahead and do our other two sides. To make a multi-sided terrarium, you just have to allow them to dry in between, but once it's dry, you can go ahead and turn it on its side and follow the same exact steps. Use silicone, and then you go ahead and foam over that, and then you can go ahead and put your substrate on top, let it dry, and then flip over to the other side. It does take quite a bit of time because 24 hours for each side to cure, but that means that everything's not going to be falling off, and you're not going to have a lot of substrate in the bottom of your tank for you to remove. It also means the sides are going to be thicker, and you're going to be able to actually keep your plants on there pretty well. After all the sides of the backdrop have dried, it's time to add the drainage layer. Me personally, I like to use perlite in my drainage layer because it'll retain moisture, and it's fairly inexpensive, pretty cheap. And then after you put the drainage layer on, you want to put some mesh. I use mine from Josh's Frogs. I absolutely love this stuff. I never have plants going through it. I never have root issues. After the mesh goes down, then you can add your horticultural charcoal or your activated carbon or whatever you want to use for that just on top of the mesh layer. And that's going to help keep your tank clean. We are almost done and I absolutely cannot wait to get the plants in this tank. This is also going to solve quite a bit of problems for me because I have a whole bunch of little tanks like this that over the years I have taken Hoya cuttings and put them in. I also have them kind of dotted throughout various terrariums and they were just kind of put in there just to see how they would work and whatnot. So now I'm going to compile them all into one specific Hoya terrarium and I am very, very excited for that. Also, please excuse my voice. I'm very sick today. I've drank tea, I've tried cough drops, I've tried everything. It's just not working. So it is what it is and we're just gonna roll with it. Now it's the absolute best part, picking all the plants to go in this tank. And of course I've had my eye on these for a long time. This particular Hoya was grown from seed by my friend Carly. I'm really excited to get it out of a cup and into an actual terrarium and get it going. This is a Hoya pubicalyx. I just want to see how it does on a terrarium. It's amazing everywhere else. And then we have a Hoya carnosa princess. I love this one. It's absolutely beautiful. This is a Hoya australis. I grew it from one node, one leaf, and it popped off like crazy. I'm loving it. I just want the leaves to grow a little bit bigger. The tiny leaves are cute, but I want to see it grow a little bigger. Then we have a Hoya crinkle 8. And then this is a Hoya wayetii, I believe. Little Hoya retusa frogtoe Hoya. That mystery Hoya from Cookie. I took the cutting and put it in there. It's rooted. I'm excited. I just want to see more growth from it. A little Hoya curtsii cutting. This is a mystery cutting. I have no idea what it is. I want to say this is a Bretonnier, but it's not. It's the one that looks like the Bretonnier that I can't ever remember. I'm sorry. I'll put it on the screen. And Hoya sigillatus, which I love this one. It's so beautiful. I'm not sure that that is the right name for it because when I look it up, it doesn't look the same. So if any of you Hoya heads are in here and watching, and please let me know what that one is. And Hoya carnosa crimson queen. You might have thought we were done after all those Hoya, but I actually have these two terrariums over here that are filled with all different kinds of Hoya and highlight loving plants. So we're going to end up moving these two. The grass even sprouted in here from little seeds in the sphagnum moss, which is so cool. I love when that happens. And then this is the sphagnum moss that came back to life in my other terrarium, which is so freaking beautiful. I cannot wait for it to grow in my big tank. Now we're all set up, and because these are all the same type of plants, there's no wrong or right way to do this. We just put them wherever we want, whatever looks good. I'm just going to try to fill it up and make it look nice. And for the base, I did forget to mention, I just mixed up sphagnum moss, cocoa coir, and a little bit of bark in there just to make it a really, really chunky aroid mix for these epaphytes. I am sad to be taking apart these little terrariums, but it has to be done. They're all going to outgrow this spot anyway, and we're just going to kind of pull all of this stuff apart. I'm trying really hard not to damage any of the roots, and then just take it right out and put it right into the tank. And that way it won't be in the lower humidity and hopefully won't stress it out too much. And then I'm not going to be putting the grass in this terrarium tank, but I am going to put it back in this little jar, and I'll save it for another terrarium because it's so cute and I don't want to lose it. Now this other terrarium has been on my northern window for years. I absolutely love it, but it's time for it to go. Unfortunately, these little plastic Amazon pots I got nursery pot wise are kind of falling apart. They have been in my other plants as well, and they're all interrooted and all the moss is connected. So I'm just going to have to pull the whole thing and remove these pots, and it's going to be a bit of a struggle. So I'm just going to do that really quick, and then I'll show you the finished tank. This tank was definitely a labor of love, but it's actually really, really beautiful, and I'm so excited to see how all the different Hoyas grow in it. Definitely subscribe so you can see all of the updates, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!